Good evening, everybody. Well, not everybody, because nobody's here just yet. Oh, let's wait till everybody starts getting in the room. We getting notifications and whatnot. Shit is going down. Tonight we got a special guest, as always. You know, every Sunday we always have a special guest, but tonight we got an extra special guest. Where's my guy at? My dude's in the room. Oh, all right, let's go.
Yo,
what's back?
what's good?
Woof.
Poquito tarde.
Yeah, so no, that's all good. This is what it is, kid. People are slowly streaming into the room. What's good? Like, how was your commute? How was your get back?
It wasn't that bad.
No,
it was like an hour and 20 minutes. Wasn't too bad. Yeah,
dude. When I hit the FDR, it was 10-4, and I got to the crib at 4:30 with one stop. Like I was out. I was weird. Like,
yo, it's crazy because my man, you know, we was in the park, and he's like, "Yo, I gotta go, out east, blah blah blah." And we started talking, and it's crazy. Long story short, his sister, they found my dog. My dog had ran away from the crib. You know, the fire alarm was going off, and it was driving her nuts. She opened the door and got out. The mini golden doodle.
Fucking kind of you got, nigga.
Mini golden doodle, fucking Scooby Doo and shit. And she got out the crib, and they were driving around with her. And he was like, "Oh shit, that was your dog." He's like, "I was about to tell him to keep her, give it to me and shit." But I was bugging out, and I was like, "Damn, small world, man. Coincidence is crazy."
Yo, so grab the top of your screen and tilt it down towards you just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect.
Good.
Yeah. Everybody who's coming into the room, let us know you're in the room in the chat, please. So you have your chat up that you can see everybody in the room?
I see, but I can't comment. Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you can't comment? The comment's down below. It says all. Post comment. Upper right hand corner says comments, and then all down. If you look down the screen at the bottom, there's a chat box.
Nah, not on mine.
This nigga's lying.
Nah, I'm serious.
Oh yeah,
not on mine.
So, speaking of small
this shit world, is a Wish. This computer's bought on Wish.
Speaking of small world, there's two things I want to point out to you. So, first one is you're the sports head in the group right now. You actually running in tournaments still and whatnot, like managing your group, your team. Mm-hmm. And you bumped into somebody that I know. Somebody was like, "Yo, the podcast is dope."
Yeah.
Shout out to the boy Hive and Mrs. Cologne, of course, and Miss Joanna Rios, Mommy Cologne, well, not Mommy Cologne, but the swagger that always comes through to the show. My boy Hive, he's a really good fucking dude, solid dude. And then the second part is, so our guest tonight, of course, is Minnesota out of Soundview, and just looking at some certain people that he's connected to. I noticed that there was a David, I think it's David M. Estrella or David Estrella. So I'm looking and I'm like, hold up a second. I go to look. Guess who's on there? Joseph Estrella. So I'm like, yo, Joe, do you know this cat? Like, he's family? It turns out that that's his cousin.
Okay.
So David Estrella is Joe Starr's cousin, and him and Minnie are like, I don't know, they've done business or he's from the Bronx or whatever. So they sort of connected through, I don't know, the street, whatever. But yeah, small fucking world.
Yeah, it's crazy. That shit bugged me out today. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, they got it. He's like, yeah. I was like, damn. I said, they found my dog. He's like, oh snap. Like, I told her they don't claim it by tomorrow. Give it to me and shit. But shout out to CV.
But it's bugged out. Like, I was looking at this and I'm like, fuck, man. It's weird the way, in some way, shape, or form, we're sort of like, this whole 6 degrees of separation shit is like bugged out.
Yeah.
People, You just look, and he told me, he was like, he's been doing the whole DNA shit, and they've been finding family members.
Right.
So evidently, I was talking to him briefly before the show, and he told me that he is going to DR Thursday, and they're gonna go track down more family members. They're gonna do like DNA tests while they're out there.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's what you guys are doing? Like, oh shit. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, small fucking world, bro. Super small world. So tonight, Minnesota kid, I'm excited to have this conversation with him. He just dropped an album, Once Upon a Handshake. The album cover, the artwork is fucking fire. It really is. But as I understand it, Minnesota is supposed to be dropping 3 more albums this year. He said over the next 3 years, every year he's going to release 4. So we're talking about 12 albums.
It's a lot of work.
Well, I don't know what the story is as far as him being away from the game for so long. I want him to tell his story, of course, but I know there's a lot there. You got to understand, at least for me, he disappeared, I think during the time where he was working with Mos Def, and he did that album with him. He did a lot of joints on the album. They did a lot of great work. And then, boop, he just up and gone. But super connected to a lot of hip hop history. If you know hip hop and you love it, you're talking about Digging in the Crates. We're talking Brand Nubian. We're talking about so many, so many artists. Yeah. And the funny thing is, and I don't want to give it away, but there's a couple of joints that if you don't look, you're not going to know it was him. But the work, oh man, the fucking work is impeccable. I'm bugging out because I'm like, yo, where the fuck is everybody in the room? Usually you got people talking shit.
Sunday night, beautiful day out, wow.
Yo.
Yeah, they probably out, people's out doing their thing. It's lovely day out, man. Spring is here. Spring again.
Nobody's scared of the COVID, right? They're like, fuck COVID.
Yeah, fuck it. COVID don't exist right now. People are like out.
It's funny you say that too. So I'm at lunch today, and I'm sitting in the whip talking to this dude, a friend of mine, Salute to Mario from the BX. And we're talking, and he hits me, yo. I'm like, what happened? He's like, look, yo, this Blanquita. You remember the old gym shorts that it's like a solid color, and then it has the white heathered like color on the edge of it, like the old gym shorts.
Yeah,
like the white shadow shits that are real small.
Yeah.
She had those made out of like not spandex, but like
the Janet and Chrissy Three's Company.
Yeah, yo, son, with both her nalgas out, and I'm like, yo, we not there yet. We're not there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Salute.
You get a little thirsty.
Super thirsty. Like it's way early. Mr. Roman, we see you. Oh, Rutgers game, NCAA. Mr.
Big Sam. What's good, Sam?
What's good, Sam?
Bad Company took it down again. Took the wood bat down. BX. Like 4 in a row, I think they got 4 years in a row. Well, we didn't play last year, but so.
But yeah, son, ass out. I was like, wow, that's what we doing? Like it's not even there, like not close. But
oh yeah, this is locked down. They be like, I'm coming out.
Like, and you know what's crazy? You could see the red piquitos like down up and down her legs. Like you just shaved just to come out like that. Like what's
it's either that or bed bugs. The bed bug bites.
For yo, son, it was bad. It was really bad. And I was like, damn, this is a shame. Like y'all really that thirsty for the heat. Like I get it. We've been cooped up. Shit is a little, whatever, but it's not that serious. I'm on the east side. It's 2 blocks from Central Park. So the people get up in the morning, they go walk their dogs or they take their kids and they get out. And all day today, that's all I wasn't seeing cheeks. There was no buns. This was the only one during the day. You know, the ladies were more in their the running tights. Son, cut off hoodies, like yo, you're showing your, like, you could see the box, you know, like, you know what, you know, you don't got to show everybody you got a Brazilian. Like, we
got a cup on. You got a cup on.
For real. Put a panty liner on. Like, you doing too much right now. Like, somebody could have just walked up and like, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know what? I'm not supposed to say that, right? Because not politically correct. Whatever.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, fuck that.
Yo, shout out to my man Dogs. I forgot. I've been meaning to give him a shout. Just came home. Cringe's brother. You know, so came out of that the belly of the beast. So welcome home, Dogs.
Up top for a long time.
Few years. Yeah. So
so I was just told that I gotta move on because I'm sounding pervy. Yo, the brother, Mr. Nicholas Carabello, we see you, brother. What's going on? You've been out for a while. Good to see you, brother. Nah, the fellas were not with the ball splitters or, you know, the Easter pants or nothing, you know, shit tucked to the side or whatever. It was mainly the ladies, you know, and, you know, it's whatever, you know, wear what you want. But, it, you know, I think that the shorts was just, you doing too much, but whatever. Do what you do.
When your eyelashes are longer than your shorts, we got a problem.
Yeah, we got to do something about that. But let's run this track. Let's get into our little, you know, whatever, and we'll move on from there. All right?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Sally Sassong in the building. Corona free, not the pervy like this guy.
And this is the set 6145. Tonight, Soundview Zone, Minnesota, Money Boss players. I don't know if people really follow. I don't know, you know, as far as everybody's in the room is concerned, if you know Money Boss players, there's a deep rooted history in the Bronx, Soundview specifically, to that whole squad. And if you go back, you know, into the 80s and early 90s, that team was super official. So Minnesota, you know, comes from a different time and carries a different code. And his personality and his movement, you know, it exudes that. It just speaks that sort of time frame. But his music is just, man. I came to discover him watching Def Poetry Jam and Mos Def was hosting. They started working together. Yeah, they started working together, and he would play beats in the interim between, you know, whatever. And I was like, I kept hearing the music, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? You know, you hear shit, and you're like, you know, remember how when we was teenagers, we used to hear shit and be like,
just last night. I mean, I'm, you know, not changing the subject, but we'll go back to that. But last night, watching the verses of Ghostface, you know, and Raekwon, Thorough and Technician. I mean, some of the stuff, like, you know, the classic stuff, like even the interludes in between the music, I was like, oh man, like I'm about to punch my son in his face over here, you know, like. But
I think music. Do you feel like that? Like music has lost its feeling, like the soul.
It's lost its soul.
Yeah,
I lost its soul. I feel like everything, movies, music, it's like no creativity. It's just, you know, even if we were sampling stuff, you know, they're not even doing that now. It's just like repetitive. Everyone sounds the same. All movies are the same. All this is like things are just. Everybody's good with being the same, stagnant. Like, what was that movie? The Truman Show. We're in the Truman Show now.
Yeah, it's crazy. My nephew, shout out to Dolo, upstate New York, Albany. Salute. My nephew up in upstate New York posted a meme today. It was a picture of Lil Wayne, and he, you know, it said something to the effect of, "You guys don't give him enough credit." He's responsible for all of you. Tattoos on the face, this, that, you know, the whole swagger, whatever. You know, without him, you guys don't exist. And I'm like, yeah, outside of rapping, because that's the difference. Lil Wayne could rap. These dudes today, you know,
Right. Yeah, Lil Wayne has a nice catalog.
He does. But the penmanship, right? The pen game is, we grew up on that. So people like to say, oh, you an old head, this and that. But I'm like, nah, it's not necessarily that, because good music is good music. You know, there's some cats that rock out today that I'm like, yo, Kendrick, you know, J. Cole, you know, there's rappers.
But they don't get the radio play.
That whole shit bothers me, because to me it's a narrative. You're pushing, you know, we grew up on the drug dealers' music. You guys are growing up on the drug users' music. You know what I mean? Dudes kissing each other, guys painting their nails. And then you know, and it creates this sort of like environment where if you say anything about them or say, like, you know, anything, period, is like, oh, you're a transphobe, you're a this phobe, you're a that, whatever. I don't buy none of that bullshit. How about y'all? How do y'all feel in the room about that? You guys are with this, you know, you wearing your girls' tights?
Nah, this is OG crew in here. They ain't with that.
For real.
It's crazy because you know, listening to, you know, Ghostface and just listen to that classic hip hop period. It's just, you know, it's street. You know, it's street. You're like, yo, you know, it's gonna pop off, you know, but the new music is just, you know, I'm not with that, man.
Yeah, I would salute. Yo, I always forget his government because I'm so used to calling him what we know him by. Our brother right here. If you remember him, Booga from the courts.
I can't really see.
Yo, salute to Liam Santi. That's our guy. He's down in Florida now. He's a over the road truck driver. He's old, yo, son. He be everywhere.
Long days,
for real. Days, yeah, days at a time, weeks. So I was listening to the album and going through all the different songs. And if everybody in the room would understand that you need to go, especially if you really fuck with hip hop, you need to cop this album. You really need to cop this album because there's so many joints on here that it's New York hip hop, you know? Like, let's see. For instance, if you hear this shit.
Putting pain in the one way, baby. Seeking validation from rattlesnakes. Drop the price.
Oh, how about this? The music is just, it screams NYC.
I don't think I'm smarter than the feds. Just a matter of time before they offer me a bed. Before they start typing, I just want to get ahead. I'm trying different things, but it's my only source of bread, and I ain't rushing dead.
Who does that? Like you hear the soul in his music.
Yeah, the problem is though is they ain't gonna play that. You know, the radios ain't playing that. You know, that's the problem. Even like Ghostface, Raekwon, like they're working on new stuff. Who else? Busta just dropped his new stuff. You know, Busta shit was fire. His album, it's just
fire.
Yeah, Busta shit is fire. Yeah, but you ain't hearing it on the radio.
You know what's crazy? Salute to the OG, Mr. Anthony Lopez. We see you. What's crazy is Busta's album has so many joints. He even threw the kid CJ on it.
Yeah,
right?
The remix of
like, come on.
With like the MOP.
With the MOP shit. Like, come on. Like, how isn't this getting heavy rotation?
The Czar shit.
The Czar shit. And the ODB joint, yo, the beat alone is fucking crazy. So I'm trying to understand, like I said before, it's like a narrative that they're trying to push where you got these weirdo, like to me. So remember the Tyson fight with Roy Jones? Triller threw that event, right? So in between each fight, they had performances. Yo, this dude came out there with like 5 chokers, a Hello Kitty shirt, like his girl's pants, black pants with some high, like Prince boots. And I'm like, listen, I've always been appreciative of artists who are creative, right? So when you talk about Prince or you talk about Rick James, those motherfuckers wrote music. And I'm not talking about lyrics. I'm talking about actual music notes. They played 2, 3, 4, 5. Prince played every instrument, but they were musicians. So their stage appearance and their persona that they, used on stage, you get away with that. These dudes are just like, I don't know, man. The femininity in men and males today seems to be on overdrive. And I get a lot of heat from people. Oh, let them do what they want. All right, cool. Yeah, let them. But everybody, like.
But that's just, like I said, that just goes to everybody wanting to be like the next person. That, starts with social media and shit like that. They want to be like, oh, this person is cool. This person's not, Meanwhile, you see these influencers, they got, 500,000 followers. They're making videos. Yeah, all right. And then you look at their, they think they're better than you. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, you see a roach and running up the wall while they're filming. Like, fuck out of here.
Yo, you know what killed me yesterday? I was showing my wife. They had a picture of Little Pump that I can't even call him a rapper. This kid who makes what I don't even know what to call it. Little Pump had a picture of him with long, females wear pointed nails now. Like that's their shit, like claws. Yo, both hands and his feet was colored. And I'm like, bro, what's next? Really, like, what's next? I'm waiting for one of these dudes to jump out and say they're transgender. That's what I'm waiting for. Because, Young Thug wearing a dress, constantly. Don't get me wrong. When I hear Young Thug musically, he's talented. At first, I wasn't feeling his music, but I heard a couple of appearances and I'm like, yo, super creative. Dude does shit with his voice over different tracks and it works. All right, cool. But the rest of these niggas, man, like, what are we doing? Like, really? Like, I don't know. I want to get back to this. This is what I want to get back on. You know what I mean? I want to get back to music that's
one too many fuck-ups, far too many strugglers, unorganized traffic, underdeveloped.
And it's not even
not gonna happen, no.
You know what I'm saying?
It will be years before that type of music comes back, if it does, because like things come in circle, whatever they say, but they ain't going with that right now.
Do you feel like maybe I'm the only one? Do you feel like there's a agenda being pushed on men? Because I'll get heat mainly from females, mainly from women. Oh, don't say that, or whatever. But I've yet to see any of it, and I said this to them to their faces. When you come out the house and your man got a purse or your yoga pants or nails colored or high heels, and you tell me, oh, leave him alone, I'll gladly be like, all right, cool.
I was watching, I watched the video the other day real quick. Charlemagne, you seen that?
Which was it?
They had like 2 girls on the Breakfast Club. I don't know who the girls are. I just tapped the video real quick, and the
threesome shit?
No, the girls are talking about pegging their boyfriends.
I saw that.
And homegirls, well, I don't do it with my boyfriend now, but I'm like, all right then. So what the fuck you talking about? You did it in the past years ago to cats, but your boyfriend now, you ain't pegging him. Like,
and then she asked her, well, how many guys do you think are into that? What kind of percentages? Oh, like 65%. And I'm like, yo.
I didn't go that far. I shut off once.
Nah, yeah. I watched it. And she's like 65%. I'm like 65% of the dudes that you fucked with like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the problem. People make statements like that, and that shit becomes normalized and popularized.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, this is my issue. Why the fuck are we turning into animals? Like, what I'm doing with my woman is for me and her. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, women talk to each other, right? But today, women talk to the world. Yo, you know,
but
like
that's everyone, B. That's everyone. I mean, that's how many, not everyone. I won't say everyone, but that's a majority, because how many people out there, how many couples, you know, oh, this guy, oh, this girl, and they putting their business out like all the time. Like, then they mad, oh, motherfuckers need to mind their business. Stop putting your business on social media. Like, we all know what the fuck is going on. Like, this is season 2 of, you know,
your relationship.
slap this bitch around. You know? But yeah, it's crazy.
You know, it's a different time. It definitely is, because, you know, I know dudes. I've played sports with dudes. You know, we grew up together. You know, there's a specific one or two people, or I would just say one. Let's go with one that you try to find, like you consultation. You consult each other about shit as you're coming up in life. Like, yo, you know, I'm not, you know, am I wrong? Like, do I, you know what I'm saying? I be around dudes now that are younger than me playing sports. I'm the old dude. And the guys that I know gravitate to me, they move that way. I know they got a wife. I see their kids. They bring them to the game. And they like, yo, you know, this is what we do. I got my family. You know, yo, what's up, B? You know, how's everything? We goof. Yo, how's the kids? But they'll never come to me and be like, yo, she wants to put her thumb in my ass. You know, I don't know how I feel. The other dudes, yo, you hear them talk, and it's like, bro, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You bringing the chia to the game? Your wife is here? You think that shit is cute? You showing niggas to disrespect your wife. What's wrong with you? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's a different time, bro. It's a different time. Salute to our brother Joey Santiago all the way down to Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, what up? Just sit tight. Our guest is on the way. You know how it goes. We always have some sort of difficulty, but our guest is definitely on the way. So just sit tight. We're just going to keep chopping it up until he arrives in the room. But yeah, it's just like Weirdoville right now. It seriously is. What else is going on with you, brother? How was the tournament?
Yeah, it was all right. It didn't end good for me. I didn't win it, but yeah. But you know, it was good to get out. You know, nice day yesterday and today.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little sun, a little red. But yeah, but it was cool.
Were you guys out by the water?
Nah.
No?
We was in the hood.
Oh, word.
In the hood. Yeah, just you know, drinking some beers, hanging out.
Oh, yeah, Ken Rosario. We see you all the way up in Connecticut. They it's crazy because now, you know, with the heat turning up or whatever, I started to see a lot more people. Like I say, you know, they be, you know, running and whatnot, but I don't see young kids out at all. Like, unless they with their parents, like you don't see kids in the street, like none of that shit. Everybody's upstairs and
they on their video games.
I don't know.
They run their video games, so they ain't out. They ain't playing like we used to play in the streets. That's for damn sure. Speaking
of music, did you hear about Anita Baker? Is it Anita? Yeah. Yes, Anita Baker.
Anita Baker. She said don't stream her stuff.
Yeah. She's reaching the end of her contract where she should be able to own her masters. To everybody who doesn't understand that, basically the creative, the intellectual property, music that she's written, arranged, produced, whatever, she's reaching the end of her contract where she could become the owner of that intellectual property. And in essence, what it is it's her 401k, right? That she can also pass on to her family, which again generates, you know, wealth. You know, if they want to do a movie and they want to put a song of Anita Baker's, they got to pay her. if they want to do anything with her music, they have to pay her. So I'm hoping tonight, when Minnesota comes on, we're going to touch on that subject about ownership and owning your masters and your intellectual property, because, there's a lot of people who have the last name, that is Ski or It's, and they own a lot of fucking intellectual property, and they've never written one fucking lick. And it was recently, I think the day before yesterday, Large Professor, and I want to say Showbiz. I think it's Showbiz. They got the same birth. It's like 3 producers have the same birthday. But Large Professor, his first album, he got jerked. Put the whole album together, did beats, did that, did everything, wrote the rhymes. And the 2 DJs he had back then, their mother or their aunt was managing them, and he got jerked.
That happens all through hip hop, all through music industry, I'm sure. But I know, through hip hop, we know all about it. I always wonder about hip hop. Like, they don't, there's like no rock, like no Hall of Fame of hip hop. They always like shitting on the old school. That's just in our culture, period. Like the old head or this and that, right? But meanwhile,
yeah,
you should learn from it. I always tell people, like, even with the sports, like when I used to play on team, they need the veterans like you. I said, veterans like me only work if they listen to what I tell them. If they don't listen to what I'm telling them, doesn't matter.
This is the only culture, the only genre of music that shits hard on the OGs. We don't respect them. We don't, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's a shame, because these are the people that built the foundation that you're standing on. When you ask artists today, like, you can ask like Lil Yachty or Lil Uzi Vert or any of these dudes. And I know that these people are loved and, whatever. But for me, I don't fuck with them. If you ask them like about this one or that, I'm better than him. Bro, son, let me explain something to you. You have not written one fucking lyric that has made me go, oh, shit.
We were talking about this in the park today, right? So, like, best hip hop duo, right? So people like Raekwon and Ghost. I said, but Raekwon and Ghost was under Wu-Tang, so I don't know if you could really consider that
a duo.
A duo, is that a duo?
Yeah, I would imagine.
So,
yeah.
Who do Run DMC's name? Obviously, they're up there. Mobb Deep has to be up there. No. Okay, so Raekwon and Ghost. Who we got? Who else? Who we got? EPMD. But EPMD was more just Eric's rhyming. It wasn't Paris. No. Right? Oh, no, they both rhyme. Eric and Paris McIntyre. Yeah, they both rhyme.
Yeah.
Nice and smooth. Yeah, that's a good one. Yep. Yeah. So
it's funny. I wanted to ask you, speaking to the Wu, with so many rappers in that group, who do you think is the most overlooked? Like, this member.
I think Raekwon is overlooked a lot. I think.
No.
Yeah. No. Genius obviously is great. I don't know. I mean, who you got?
Everybody in the room. I'm about to. I don't know if I should call this dude. We seem to have a disconnect with being tech savvy and being a little bit older in our years. If everybody's looking at the chat, you can see Mr. Mark Richardson, aka Minnesota, is in the room. So I told him I sent the DM, and he's supposed to click the link to come in, but I think he misunderstood.
Go in the green room if you want, and go them up, huh?
Hold up. Yeah. I should just call him while I'm here, no?
That's up to you. I mean, I wouldn't, but that's up to you.
All right, you gonna hold it down?
Why wouldn't I?
Ladies and gentlemen,
fuck is wrong with you?
Mr. Selly Sassong is gonna hold the set down.
Don't go. I'm just kidding. Good evening. What's going on, everyone? How was your weekend? We're waiting for Mr. A to get back. Salute to everybody in the room. We thank you guys. We appreciate the love, man. Thank you for real. If you haven't done so already, please go to the YouTube channel, The Set 6145, and subscribe. Tell your family, tell your friends, hide the kids. But Capadonna, Overlooked, Nick, that's a good one. That's a good one. I mean, to me, man, I thought Raekwon. I mean, Raekwon gets credit for the purple tape, but I think he gets slept on a lot. What's good, Ant? How you doing, brother? Hope all is well. What'd you guys do, man? What'd you guys do this weekend? What'd you guys get into? Did anybody watch the verses last night? RZA and Raekwon and Ghostface. Mr. A's on the Jones. I'm not tech savvy either, man. I'm that old hat. But
all right, I got you.
We survived.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, Minnesota from Soundview, the producer, the prolific one, is in the room. We're gonna bring him in and we're gonna chop it up. So everybody, let's bring him in properly. Let's have a formal introduction. Without further ado, the set welcomes Soundview Zone, Minnesota. Yo, salute.
What's up, home team? How are you, man?
What's good? What's good, man?
What's going on, brother?
You here?
Yes,
Man,
sir.
this is some time in the making. But I'm glad you're here, man.
Yes, sir.
So, for everybody that doesn't know, Minnesota is responsible for a lot of work that you may have not even known. Big joints, big hip hop joints for all the real hardcore hip hop fans out there. Joints like New York Giants, Mahogany was credited alongside you with that. This shit, Cell, when I found out that he produced this joint, I wanted to break a fucking table. Think big, Junior Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
Son, like,
yeah.
Mos Def, Beef, The Panties, and one of my favorites of all time, Grown Man Business. Now listen to this. In the vein of the verses yesterday, Beat the Clock, Ghostface Killer. Son, with that, and that's just a snapshot of the work that Minnesota has put together. But now Minnesota returns to the scene with this banger called Once Upon a Handshake. And even though I want to start from a different point in time, I have to ask you first and foremost, who came up with the artwork for the album cover? I need to know that.
My man Shotty.
Okay.
My man Shotty. So Shotty is doing some he's basically managing the project for me. He was the one who him and my man Al G would always stay on me.
Okay.
And because I was just like, I got a bunch of songs recorded that I never put out.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about the album is, I wanted to put out a street album, but they picked some of my raw street joints. But 80% of that album is 20-something years old. I'm getting the crazy feedback right now off of the joint, and Variables is new. A lot of those songs are old. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where thanks to my man Shotty and my man Al G, because now I got the bug again to do music.
Listen, man, the one thing that has always stayed in the back of my mind, in the few conversations that you and I have had on a personal, was always wanted to tell you, yo, Minnie, what's up, man? Because this scene that we were discussing before you came in the room, it needs people like you that have that, like we said, the soul's missing from the music. When you listen to the joints on the album, you could feel all that shit. It's sort of like when you put the needle on the record and you hear that crackling and you knew that some fire shit was about to play, some Donny Hathaway, some Earth, Wind and Fire, something like that. Hip hop is missing that. And to hear that there's joints on here that's 20 years old, I mean, wow, that's crazy. So oh shit.
Whoa. Bring him back. Bring him back.
Damn, I was just about to hit him.
Dun, 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 dun.
Where's it at? Man, oh, there you go. There you go. The T-Mobile's fucking up.
Yeah, very much so.
All right.
I say that.
But let's start here. Where does Minnesota start? And you know, and what part? And that echo's fucking me up. Where does your musical journey start? Does it start as a teenager, your early 20s?
Well, it started I would say in the 90s, working with a friend, and you know he can rhyme his ass off, but I came in penning and ghostwriting for him a little bit. Lord Tariq. Hold on 1 second, I gotta let the lady in.
All right.
Yeah. I thought I had to run downstairs. I thought I had to run downstairs and get it. But
You gotta fix the echo. He might got something.
yeah, so just doing production and writing for my friend Tariq. You know what I'm saying? So we worked together on a lot of songs, and that was a basic introduction. And the first placement I ever got was Gemini the Gifted won Brooklyn Kids.
Okay.
And then a group called Yak from Front, that they were both signed to Mercury Records at the time. So that was it. That's basically where my musical journey began.
Now coming up in the area that you did, how does the music that influences you? Where does that come from? Is it from your mom, your dad, both of them?
Well, my grandfather was a guitar player, and he was a jazz guitar player, and he was really good, but he didn't follow up on it because he was pimping. The majority of my family is from Queens, so I was actually supposed to be a Queens nigga. My mother was 14 years old when she had me, and came up to her sister's house, and I was born and raised in the Bronx. My family was like in the drug trade in Queens in the 60s, and they were like real major, and my mother had me when she was 14, and I was born and raised in the Bronx, and I've been here since.
So you from what I understand, your code of ethics comes from your surrounding in the Bronx, right?
Yeah, very much so. I was in the game for years,
Mhm.
I was in the game for years. I actually got in the game when I was 14, so I was always on and off. I was in between music and the streets. And I didn't really have an understanding for the music business. I'm one of the people that I never had anybody to tell me, yo, save your money, yo, do this. So we went into the music business. And when I say we, first was me and my friend Tariq, and then we had our group, the Money Boss Players. We went into the music business as just some ignorant Bronx kids, That's We knew how to count, we knew how to add things up, and that's all we knew was, yo, we're gonna get in this and we're gonna get paid, And thank you, man. And we were up at Def Jam before they had anyone, before they had Jay-Z, we took the first meeting up there, and that's why I met Leo Cohen. You know what I mean? So and that didn't go well because he wanted the Money Boss Players group. He wanted 8 niggas to split 49 cents.
Yeah.
So that didn't work out well.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out well.
Do you feel now is a more artist-friendly environment?
Well, I mean, due to the internet, yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a business aspect of it, but right now, like I'm gonna be releasing 4 albums a year. Maybe I have enough material, new and old, to go at least 2.5, 3 years, and that's not counting the new stuff that I'm gonna be recording.
Right.
So, I would just say, mean, it is what you gotta bear with me. I've been through so much stuff. I also had a brain aneurysm, so sometimes I lose track of my thoughts when I'm talking. You know.
All right. Hold on a second. We're gonna try to get Minna's echo off because I know everybody wants to hear this conversation and we want to have this conversation. So I'm gonna try to get Minna's echo off. Just bear with us for 1 second. Hold on a second. So Sel, I'm gonna come out of the room with Minna. I'm gonna call him on the phone. Let me see if I can get this echo shit off. All right.
No problem. Is there something else playing? Like, is this playing live somewhere in your room? Oh, Minnesota?
No.
So it's just your phone, right?
It's just my phone. And hold on, let me double check. I'm
trying to think of on the
app. This is it. This is the only page open.
And you're in your browser, right?
Yeah.
All right, hold up a second. Because I'm gonna see if I can log on. And I'll tell you what to do to change that up.
Or you want me to go out and come back in?
No, he'll take you out.
Okay, hold on.
It's live broadcast. That's what happens.
Because now I have my phone on, and I'm trying to enter the broadcast studio myself to see if I can. So Minna, on your screen, you should see 3 options: mute, stop cam, and cam mic. You see that?
I see mic, cam mic, chat, leave.
Okay. You should be able to hold on. Go to cam mic, and there's going to be some options. You got to go into your audio and click echo cancellation.
And clicked on.
You clicked it on?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, cool. One last thing. Turn your phone landscape sideways. See if it'll rotate to give us a better picture. There you go. Perfect. All right, now we rocking out.
All right, cool. I can put the shit on my computer now.
There you go.
Cool.
We're in the red light district.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's just when I I'm doing production. I do my beats. I like to do them under either red light or I like to do them under red light, or I like to do them under purple light.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's funny because that's his son. Everybody in the room, that's his son, Asar. Very intelligent young man, and very mischievous at that.
Asar! Asar! I'm on live. You gotta get out.
This is real life.
Yeah.
I love it. He's what you call an indigo child. So Asar is a special young man.
Yeah.
Asar. So Minnie, now we're in this pocket, right? You coming up in the 80s. You're with Tariq. You know, you and Tariq grew up together. And everybody that doesn't know, or if your mind is slipping you, Lord Tariq, Peter Guns, that's who we're referring to. We're referring to Lord Tariq.
Yeah.
Lord Tariq and Minnie develop a group called the Money Boss Players. I was telling the audience about somewhat if they go back in history through the 80s and early 90s, the Money Boss Players history and sound view is real heavy. As a real official team that has a lot of history back there. So you come from a specific pocket where people held themselves, had a certain code. And I could see, again, through our conversations that to this day, you still run by that code. So with that being said, the industry and the things that you've done, right? Did you find that a lot of it like sort of offended your senses of how you believe you should be living and moving through life?
I mean, I let people do it. I let people do what they want to do, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the world is now the way it is for particular reasons,
Yes, sir.
So, certain groups can benefit off of certain behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, as it stands with as it stands, the industry really didn't have an effect on me because I was one of those people where I was either gonna do the music or I was gonna go and go off the farm and feed myself. You know what I'm saying? So I was never pigeonholed or boxed in by the industry, but I just left it alone. I left it alone. Like I was always producing, and then I always had the street to go to. You know what I'm saying? So in my younger years as a producer, I was a degenerate gambler. No, I'm serious, man. I would go all the music money. I would go into dice houses with 10,000, 20,000, sometimes 7,000 a night, and I was just blowing money. So I've had bouts with being up, being all right, being broke. So it's not like it was just one way for me because I was just a regular guy from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like like these kids got it sweet now. They come in, they're doing shows, they're getting 25,000 a night. They're running around with Louis Vuitton bags with 100,000 in it. It was a little different back then.
Right.
But I never let the industry bother me because I would step away from it.
So was Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, was that your first like kind of
well, Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, see, this is the part of the story that's not told with that. Tariq is Peter Guns' brother-in-law by marriage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was like we would go over there to we were introduced to 174th Street through Tariq. You know what I'm saying? So when we would go over there, we got cool with Pete, and he was in the rap game. And when he was in the rap game, of course we connected with him, and he had a crew called the Gun Runners. So that's how Money Boss and Gun Runners got real cool, and we would go over there and work on songs with them and F Dog and their producers. So that's how that came about. But yeah, that's the connection between Lord Tariq and Peter Guns. Lord is Peter's brother-in-law by marriage. You know what I'm saying? He's been with that girl 30 years now. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying, was that your first song like that made the radio play, or was it something before that?
Well,
that you created.
Well, before then, I caught a lot of. I wasn't really catching the radio songs. I go back to. I did 2000 for Grand Poobah. That's one joint that kind of made the radio. I worked with Naughty by Nature on their sophomore album. I fucked with everybody, man. And sometimes there's so many placements I can't really remember all of them. I worked with Big, and working with Big was really fun because Big was really street / funny. He was like a good person. You know what I'm saying? And I personally think maybe his undoing was the people that might have been around him, but Big just wanted to get that money. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the culprit. So
it sounds like, and if people are if this is going over your head, it sounds like these were just a collective of street dudes who just happen to be super talented. There's a lot of guys that come from the hood that have brains that actually can do shit, right?
Right.
The streets is a super tempting place to be when you can get heavy money and quick money. Right.
Fast money.
Yeah, very much so. So yeah, man, my bouts with the industry, actually, the people, this is the funny story. I had a block in Midtown Manhattan, and we was getting to it. I always knew that I wanted to do music, right? So my partner, his cousin was one of the dancers for Brand Nubian.
Okay.
So they're really the people who brought me around industry and brought me to industry and introduced me to people.
Okay.
I didn't know how to get in. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
They brought me around Poobah. They brought me up to Mercury Records. I established relationships with Kenyatta Bell, who was the A&R up there at that time. And you meet people and you get cool with people and you start hanging with people. I met Mos Def in them back then.
Wow. That's super early.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because niggas used to go down to Washington Square Park and battle.
Ciphers.
And Tariq was down in Tariq would go be in the ciphers down there.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like Tariq and DMX battled at Hunter College.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? This is before DMX was really out, and this is before Tariq. Tariq was already known on the mixtapes.
Yeah.
You know, so that's basically that, man. But that's how I got into the music game, through the Brand Nubian dances. My partner, who I was ready rocking with, allegedly in hearsay, his cousin is DJ Talib, which is Talib DJs in those real quality spots in the village and all that shit. Now he's a DJ, but back then when he was a dancer, he brung me right into the record labels, started introducing me to people, and then I met Matty C.
Oh, salute.
And when I met Mateo Capilongo, Matty fucked with us. I don't know what happened why we didn't get a deal up at Loud, but Matty was really walking me around the industry. You know what I'm saying? We actually had performed the night Matty discovered Biggie. Biggie had performed in a spot downtown called the Mars. It was a talent show in the Mars. And that was the night that I met Big. You know, a lot of these people I just had relationships with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's the niggas from the Bronx. Oh, that's the niggas from Brooklyn. Like, everybody that ended up getting deals at that time had to go through those channels like the Mars. At that time, the party girl was Jessica Rosenbaum. She had the building, and in front of the building, it went to the tunnel. So it was just a good time, you know.
It sounds like, man, there was a lot of hand to hand going on. It was a different environment entirely.
The kids got it sweet now. It's beautiful, and I love it.
Hit a button and it's just go time.
Right.
Me. Wow. I was going through your catalog, and I've been over the last couple of weeks because, again, I've been looking to this conversation for a while. How did the whole pun record come to be? Because, again, you're in the area, like it's a Bronx thing, but how does that get picked up? Like, how were you picked up for that joint?
The funny thing is, Big Pun, as I knew him growing up as a child, because he's from Soundview.
Right.
And his aunt was a girl named Angie, and it's Angie's brother, Wimpy. Wimpy had the baseball team, so we were all on the baseball team as children. And, he was Dirty Chris. He was a rough Puerto Rican growing up in Soundview. And back at that time in Soundview, we didn't have like a lot of Puerto Ricans. It was a guy named Sonny and Bola, and then there was Chris. There wasn't a lot of Puerto Ricans. Chris was this wild Puerto Rican kid that hung out with all the black kids. And the funny thing about his career is, like, him being a real gangster, his criminal record never came up. This nigga was getting busted with guns and doing time, like all kind of shit when he was a kid.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He was a rough dude. So
he always had guns. That
right.
We know.
Yeah, he had got into working out and stuff, right? And as he got into working out, he had moved away, but he broke. I don't know if the police was chasing him or something. He jumped out of a window. He broke both of his legs. So when he broke both of his legs, that's when he put the weight on. I didn't see him for a while. So I'm on Southern Boulevard going to get some sneakers.
I think he broke his neck too, right? Didn't he break his neck?
Yeah, he broke something. I don't know, but I know he definitely broke both his legs, and that's when he put the weight on. So
off Southern Boulevard on Hunts Point Avenue.
Southern Boulevard, more towards the store Blueprint.
Yeah.
Manchester. Mm-hmm. Somebody go, Mark, and I'm laughing because I'm like, yo, this is somebody that know me because my grandmother used to call me out the window. And her voice would echo. Like if I was in the back on Lacombe Avenue, we would hear this lady screaming, Mark, come upstairs. So somebody's going, Mark, and I look, and I'm looking, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Who's this? So I just see some big fat Puerto Rican dude, about 300 pounds. So as I get closer, I'm like, yo, Chris, what up? He's like, yo, Mark, man, don't play on me. Don't call me Chris, man. He said, call me I'm Moondog. I'm Big Moondog. I'm like, Moondog? He was like, yo, I rap, man. I'm nice. And I'm just looking at this nigga like, Chris was always funny and crazy. Mm-hmm. So I'm just looking at this nigga like, you rap. You're Big Moondog. He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get the record deal. When I get the record deal, I'm gonna call you for beats." So I give him my number because I'm not funny styling no shit like that.
For real.
So he calls me. He's like, "Yo, Mark, I got the record deal. I'm with Loud Records. I need this beat that you gave me on CD." So I underestimated him and I slept on him because he didn't have the quote unquote
Look.
image, the look. That's why if you got talent, I just fuck with you. I don't care. You could look like a piece of broccoli. I don't give a fuck. Because that shit is like, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We look at Missy Elliott. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to diss her or nothing like that, but she's not the standard, the long hair, the lights. And she's a dominant force in the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he gave me a call. He came and got me. We drove out to Staten Island. We was in Mystic Studios and it went down. We did I'm Not a Player. And I didn't fucking understand, man. Like, I'm just looking at him. Because he's a jokester too.
Yeah.
He's a nigga that snaps all day. He recorded the song and I was like, oh shit, this nigga can rap. But I still didn't see it going anywhere because he's 350 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny because every time I saw Pun, he would get bigger and bigger. Wow. And I would talk to him, you know, about it when I would be around him because we had that relationship from children.
Right.
We kindled everything. And Pun would be like, oh, I don't give a fuck. I just want to eat.
I remember I was with them, the Puerto Rican Day Parade when the Terror Squad, he was dropping that album with the What You Gonna Do. And I seen him, you know, like getting on the, you know, for the float type thing. And I was like, man, Pun, you know, he needs to get some help, man, because I don't see him making a year, you know, like this.
Yeah.
And 9 months later, he passed.
Yeah, that was actually terrible, man.
Yeah.
He happened to be somebody who I you know, we all have to credit in some way, shape, or form because we all grew up together. And when I say we all grew up, I mean like Black people, Puerto Rican people, people of color all grow up together. And for me, Puerto Ricans never really get the nod when it comes to hip hop.
Yo, you know something? Growing up in Soundview has two sides, or maybe three sides. It has a back block nigga side, like, you know, niggas that you don't know. Mm-hmm. You can live in the projects and don't know these niggas, but you just know they tough. Then it has a goon side, like the niggas who are actually on the corner that bother people. And then you got the slick side. You got the niggas that dress, that get money, that talk slick. They just got that je ne sais quoi about them. And even though Pun was a Puerto Rican kid coming up, he always was on the je ne sais quoi side. He was always out there doing his thing, moving his units on the street. I'm not talking about so as kids, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, as kids, we were the pawns, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18 years old. We were the stay out here all night in the cold and get it.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't the bosses back then. We were the kids. But Pun had that shit with him when he would get fly. He liked to dress. Like, if you look at his pictures, when he was slim, you see him on his Papi Chulo shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The nigga knew how to dress. Like, he wasn't square. Right. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a Dale Huevo Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying?
This is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner
Sally Sasson in the building.
And this is the set 6145. Right now, we're talking to Soundview Zone, Minnesota, for Money Boss Players. And he just said something that rings really true to me. Salute to my wife, because she's always saying that. He said he wasn't one of those Dale Huevo dudes.
Nah.
And that shit just speaks to me, kid.
Nah. He was a fly Puerto Rican nigga. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't huepa. He was slick.
Yeah.
He was like a Spanish dude from the East Harlem. He had that shit with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think about that sort of again, that era, because 104.74 and 104.73 are literally neighbors. We sit on.
Well, no, that's 104.72.
It's 72?
Yeah.
So Hunts Point in the back is 104.74.
Yeah, that's 104.74. But when you get to our side, The train station side is 104.72.
Okay.
You got I think if I'm correct, you got 300,000 people on that side of the highway, and then on the other side of the highway, 104.73, you have 250,000 people, which are actually boxed in.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It is, and the reason why I'm referencing that is because if people are listening to Minnesota Describe Soundview, and what I'm trying to give everybody so that they understand. In this little area, like Bay Ridge to Sunset Park, they're neighboring like borough, small cities within each other, right?
Right.
You have to travel a couple of blocks and you're there.
Right.
So to hear that it was so segregated, like there weren't a lot of Puerto Ricans, all you had to do was walk a couple of blocks in the other direction and you would walk into Little Puerto Rico, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was Watson Avenue. Yep.
Man. So Minnie, let's get back to what we're doing now, right? Yeah. This environment is definitely more favorable to an artist as far as being able to control your destiny, to put out music, to garner what is properly yours, so to speak, to put it, right? And now your aim is to release 4 albums in this year, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel that this environment is going to be, bountiful for you? Do you feel like you're going to be able to reap the benefits?
Oh, yeah.
I like that attitude.
Well, look, right. For one, now this is going to sound funny. New York City was in love with me already by way of my ghostwriting.
Yep.
When I say New York, I mean that shit.
Yeah.
So, and that's not to take nothing away from my man Tariq. Tariq can rap his ass off. Right. But when it comes to going deep into those street tales, New York already heard me, but they just hear it from the actual person now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like one of the last records, and me and Tariq are going to do some more work. Bygones being bygones now, because I would say we were young, we were in our 20s, and niggas was just stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some stupid Bronx fucking niggas from Soundview. And if you know anything about Soundview, it's a gallon of stupid motherfuckers over there. And in our 20s, we was stupid niggas, guarantee you. So with New York loved me already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, this is the thing, right? My man Eric Beasley said some shit to me, right? And that's Eric. For everybody that don't know Eric and Smack own UFC.
Yeah.
Eric was like, man, put your music out, nigga. You're senior citizen hip hop right now. I said, senior citizen hip hop. He said, nigga, fuck that.
Yeah.
People just want to hear good music. And you got good music. Put it out. So thank you to Eric Beasley for that. And it's not it's an age thing if you want to hear a nigga tell you how to get to jail.
Right.
I'm telling you how to get around the feds. I'm telling you how to, from experience.
Right.
I'm telling you how to stay alive. My music is telling you, I think every generation loses code. Whether it's it could be in the working game, it could be in the street game, it could be in the music game, whatever game, every generation falls from what the real goal is, And as it stands, you seeing that happening in music now. If you want to hear a nigga that's going to tell you how to stay out of jail, how to get that money, what to do, how to move, what to look out for, I got the legends, as they said in the movie in Hell Up a Harm and Black Caesar. I got the legends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nas did it. Hove did it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna, whether motherfuckers go for what I'm doing or not, I'm gonna put out good music.
That's all that really matters at this point. And I think it's, again, we were discussing this before you came in. That's what we really need. But with that being said, do you feel, one of the things that we've touched on quite a few times during the course of a few episodes is the environment that we're in. Do you feel like artists today are promoting a narrative when it comes to, how men stay on code or don't stay on code, and what's acceptable and not?
Well, listen, right? I could go way deep down the rabbit hole into some conspiracy shit. Because if you want to call anybody a conspiracy theorist, I would probably be the guy that is the biggest fucking conspiracy theorist, right?
Mm.
And what I would say is, when you see a behavior pop up on the planet and everybody engages in it, that's not coincidence. Did all the motherfuckers who were born in '89 have a meeting and say, "Yo, we're gonna grow up to be HMOs"? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or did the think tanks in England say we're gonna add the chemicals to their food? We're gonna put out all these disrupting chemicals that disrupt the hormones. I think it was the think tanks who said, "Yo, let's put this stuff in and disrupt the chemicals," because right now there's so many things going on right in front of our face and we're not addressing it. So, just so far as the children go, I mean, any of us know that's a little older. You don't really start getting your thinker together till you're about 24, 25.
Mm-hmm.
You're a real thinker, like you really on your grown man shit. And you start putting those ideas and all that together. Right now, oh my God, Asa,
I love
Fortnite.
real life shit.
Fortnite.
Oh, he's on it.
So and this is very important to me
Mm-hmm.
because they are pulling a number on the children right now. Like, it's so bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's painful to not be able to talk to children, and a child may be like, well, I'm LGBTQ.
Right.
No, motherfucker, you're 13 years old. You're 15. You're 16. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm a pansexual. They're fucking, the children are being fucked around, and the music that's popular right now is popular for the desired result of lowering birth rates. All the money is in the groups that are not going to have children, not going to create offspring. All the money is in there. All the money is backing them. Come to find out, what is this shit? Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is it has nothing to do with black survival.
$22 million deep, son.
The people who are heading it are about, when you look at About Us, cisgender, CIS gender means heterosexual relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And they state in that About Us that we are against that. You know what I'm saying? So I think everything has to run its course.
Right.
But my mother is has been lesbian forever, and she said to me, man, there's something wrong with all this shit. This shit ain't right. This shit ain't normal. Like, this is not normal. This is not what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think people understand? Because and Sel, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, because I know we get a lot of heat for this, but I don't give a fuck.
I really don't give a fuck.
No, not naturally, but my thing is, I think that we've culminated to a point, right? We're it's like a funnel. We were out wide and all being pushed into this point,
right?
Where society's headed right now, and when you try to tell somebody that, it's dismissive. It's that's not real. That's not. But motherfucker, it's playing out before your very eyes.
Well, the first thing that everybody has to know is most of the things that you'll call conspiracy theory are open source information.
Mm-hmm.
It's all there if you'll look for it. And you might not get it on Google, but you might have to go to DuckDuckGo to get it. But you can find it if you know how to look for it.
Right.
A lot of the children now being homosexual and being in all these genders are coming from gender bending chemicals. The two number one chemicals that they're using are BPA and atrazine. And if you use those two words and go in a search engine, you're going to find something that's going to break it down, because it flips the hormones the opposite direction. So the kids are, I mean, people are crazy now because they're fucking eating foods like wheat bread, anything with soy in it. You are taking in gender bending chemicals.
I think
So
people. Sorry to interrupt you. I believe people don't. When we were teenagers, and Sal, I don't know if you remember, there were a few god bodies on my block, right? And I can remember not being 8, 9, 10 years old, and salute to the God Divine and Jashem. They used to tell me, "Yo, why you eating that?" And that's like, shit tastes good. Funny bones. Who the fuck don't like you don't like Sal? You don't like funny bones growing up?
I don't think I ate those.
Stop lying, nigga.
Nah, I might eat some Twinkies or some other shit, but
okay, perfect. Yeah. Twinkies, whatever. Why you eating that? Your shit tastes good. What you talking about? Yeah,
quick snack.
Do you know what you eating? Read the back. If you tell me, if you know what any of these things are, then go ahead and eat it. And that shit, I was like, oh, I never, I'm a kid. The fuck do I know? But it was interactions like that over time as I got older, and they was passing me books and telling me, yo, read this, learn that, blah, 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 that my mindset changed. And I think that that's the problem with people today. When you start telling them about these things, it's like, nah.
Well, the dangerous thing now is when you enlighten a person now, you catch beef for it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not, like I say, every generation loses code. Like me being an official, dug in Soundview person from day one, I had issues in my own neighborhood, and a lot of it came from trying to educate. So you got a generation that deems grimy as good.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Grimy is good now.
Yeah.
Yo, I slept with my best friend's baby moms and took the condoms and threw them in the baby stroller. That's good now. Like grimy is a good thing now. The more bravado, the more machismo, the more bullshit you can come up with. Yo, I shot broad daylight. I hit the baby. Nobody know that was me that did that. That's the Goonie life, the gang culture.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is dope to these niggas. And like I say, every generation loses code. That shit don't make no fucking sense.
Let me ask you something, and I'm glad you brought that up. Sally, me and you were discussing this. So right now, we just had Bobby Shmurda come home after doing a 6-7 year bid, right?
Right.
So I'm on my way to work this morning, and I'm listening to Street Soldiers with Lisa Evers. They're talking about it. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to hear this. Where's the difference in the code between Bobby Shmurda? I mean, it's obvious. He didn't rat. And a person like 6ix9ine who did rat. Do you believe?
The thing is, anybody with common sense would have put a lid on 6ix9ine. If you pick up a scorpion and the scorpion stings you, you can't get mad at the scorpion.
For real.
So I don't think, I've been shot before. I don't think 6ix9ine took a bullet to his head or took a bullet to his leg or his arm. And and I'm not even badgering 6ix9ine because it didn't make sense. Like these niggas now are making money to be in a rap game for 3 months and get laid the fuck out.
Well, that's Chicago shit.
That's not what businessmen do. That's not what the business is. You're not making it to die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So it's like selling your soul to the devil right there.
Well, it's like when I say every generation loses code, and everything has to run its course. It's going to be more that this shit happens to, and niggas don't know how to move. I get money like I want to get money in the summer. Find me on my yacht.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a Bentley. I'll ride around in a Honda just to make sure I got $150,000 boat. I'm not going to get $150,000. I'm riding around. I don't give a fuck. I'm from the Bronx.
And that's the thing.
But I will be on my $150,000 boat with my friends and ladies and having a good old time.
Yeah.
We men, we still need our toys. We still boys at heart. We need our toys. Your toys just got to get bigger and better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be
I
out
don't
on the Long Island Sound. I'll be on the Hudson in my fucking boat.
I don't understand. We were also talking about this before you came on the show. This is the only culture, the only genre of music that disregards the foundation of which
Well,
you're standing on.
Well, you know, because you got to understand, right? The streets have gotten dumb and dumber, and it's designed that way. You know, the generation before us, the Guy Fishers and the two generations. I'm sorry,
Yeah, too.
the Guy Fishers and the James Browns and the Nicky Bonds and the Frank Lucas and the Bat and all of those names. They were playing for reasons, and they were getting millions just to open up a fish and chip.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, it's a lot of them that we don't know that retired. It's a lot of them that retired. You know, so the goal, if you watch the movie Superfly was like the movie that corrupted them. And then the movie that corrupted us was Scarface.
Scarface, for real. Yeah.
You know, every generation loses code because when we were out there in the 80s as children selling crack, and I can remember that fucking first 3 months when all the good looking people just started to look like shit out of nowhere because they were smoking this new stuff. Nobody knew what the fuck it was. It didn't even have a name. But every generation loses code because I just know I was doing Electric Boogie one week, and then the next week we were all trying to buy clout leathers and Roof of the World jackets and Timberland boots.
Listen, you speaking about that makes me want to ask you this question because you're speaking again to a specific time, a point in history, especially when we're talking about music and hip hop and the culture overall. What was that environment like being at the rooftop? Because I was hearing about the rooftop all the way in Brooklyn. Through all my peoples that was, you know.
Remind me, because I'm forgetful, but remind me to tell you about Brooklyn at the rooftop. But rooftop was the first time I ever went to hang out in Harlem. I was 11 or 12 years old, and I went the year before crack kicked off, and Andre Harrell was performing, Captain Rock.
Ooh.
And he had another record called Fast Life. And I went to King Towers. And that was like beautiful. That was just like that. Harlem was beautiful to me because coming from Soundview at that time, Soundview was a very flossy corner on Commonwealth and Randall. We had all the big time dope boys up there. It was like they were selling 50s of heroin, 50s and 25s.
Damn.
So the same thing that was going on 116th Street was going on in Soundview. Soundview wasn't always Goonie Google. It was a fucking, and at this time, the funny thing was Puerto Ricans didn't have the heroin. Only blacks had heroin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Got around our way.
Listen. When you look back, right? A lot of the Latin brothers were gang members. They didn't have no money.
In the Bronx?
Them motherfuckers on my block had Cadillacs, sports cars. You see the Fewellens coming up, coming in and out. You know what I'm saying? In and out the bar, which was the Cozy Corner bar. Because if Soundview is known as Cozy Corner.
Right.
So, I mean, all the dope was being sold under my window as a kid. So even though I remember being in the window with my grandmother, like, Grandma, those men are doing bad things. Help the police get those men. And then fucking 3 years later becoming one of those men. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, crime is the byproduct of poverty. So
people don't understand that.
So back to Harlem. First time I went to Harlem, I went to King Towers. I think it was Harlem Week or something like that, real early on back then. And then the next year, crack came out, and we were going to Rooftop. And I went to Rooftop for 3 things. Because I was still borderline dancing. I was selling my stuff and the music. Brucey B. Man, Brucey B. And he's not the same Bruce he was only because he's scared to play records. When you would go to Rooftop and see Brucey B play music, he would play rock, he would play jazz, he would play rap, and he was the record breaker for New York because he didn't give a fuck about playing no records.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Back then.
Right.
Brucey B didn't give a fuck, man. I mean,
there's no Brucey B's now.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's cubby hold. And you know the funny thing? It's a million dope artists. Like, oh my God, my YouTube playlist.
Yeah, definitely.
Young ladies, young men doing shit that sounds like Shaka Khan and fucking Bobby Womack. It's so many dope artists now, but they're right below the surface on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
And the first smart person is going to start a major platform radio station and let those people be heard.
See, that's the thing. There's no money behind soul, right?
It is. You're very wrong because all the white people have taken the soul.
Right.
All the hot R&B is all the hot R&B is European right now.
Right.
These niggas just sounded like fucking. These niggas just sound like what's the shit keep tipping them saying? I'm trying Minnie Riperton, Shaka Khan, all the white people are singing the R&B now.
Right, but here in the States, all that shit is suppressed. All that shit that has soul is, like you said, under the surface.
Nah, but it's gonna bubble like a volcano, and it's gonna see. When white people do something, it always backfires on them. They put crack out.
Yo, hold up a second. Hold up. Say that again, please.
Whatever they do backfires on them. It might take a while to have to run its course, but you put out crack and you turn all these young black men and Latin men between the ages of 30 and 56 in the business, man. No one wants to go to work no more. Everybody wants to own their own fucking business. Like everything they do backfires because I remember people being like just living life and loving life and breakdancing and fucking doing electric boogie or being in gangs with fucking sleeveless denim jackets. Eventually, we've come a long way. Right. It's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And man, even though white people may be focused on, and when I say white people, I'm not talking about the common white. Right. I'm talking about the financial elite. I'm not talking about you, the construction worker, you, the person who owns a 6-figure business. I'm talking about the multi-millionaires and the multi-billionaires. When I say white, you know what I'm saying? If you're not them, then you're a fucking poor white. So I'm not talking to you. But everything they do kind of like backfires on them. So it goes back to the African proverb: when digging a grave for your enemy, dig one for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like even with the shit we going through now, COVID and all of this shit, right? We know that white people are at a 0 birth rate, and we know by the year 2031 that 85% of what's deemed Caucasian will be dead because they're not replacing themselves.
They're not.
So, I guess them niggas is like, I ain't get busted, we got busted. Like, I'm taking you with me.
I think that's a message that people don't understand or don't want to pay attention to. And when you start talking to them about that, because I've had these conversations, people want to turn away from that and they don't want to look at the actual numbers. And this is something that's been on mainstream, like what people would consider mainstream media. It's been heavy on it.
See, my thing is this, right? It's just we drifting over there. What makes the credible source credible? We have so much trust when we see it on TV or when we see a white person say it. And these niggas are the biggest liars in the world, and they're fronting right now They don't even have the population for it. And guess what? They're even using a lot of Latin people now and letting them put white, Hispanic when filling out for jobs. And a lot of the Latin people, they don't really know about this shit. They're not conscious. They're not deep into the conscious realm. And this is how they're keeping their numbers up. Their numbers are done.
Yeah.
They're done, man.
It's funny that Minnie brought that up because I found out recently, Sally, I don't know if you know about this. There's like a huge portion of Puerto Rico, of our people, that claim white when they're filling out paperwork. Like, I really don't understand that, but it happens to be a true fact. And he's bringing it up right now. That's not like a farce. That shit is real. Right. So now, Minnie, let's talk about forward. Let's talk about what we're doing, what we're hoping to do in the very, very near future, right? Who are some of the people? Are you reaching out to these new artists? Are you going to be working with them possibly?
Well, the last shit I did some, man, and I'm really waiting for them to release this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I did 2 with the Locks recently, right?
Oof.
I gave those niggas 2. Like, I'm already a Locks fan, but yo,
we all Locks fans.
When I said I gave them niggas, and the funny thing was on the 2 records that I did, fucking headliner was Chic. If I had to order all my life to rate the Locks, I would say it was Jadakiss, it was Styles, and then it was Chic. On this record I did for them is Chic, Styles, and then Kiss on the 2 I did for them. So it fucked me up. Like, I had to really sit in there like, yo, am I bugging, or did fucking Chic just murder this?
The underspoken one, Chic.
Yeah, he punished that shit. Like,
oof.
Is there any new artists like that you hear now that you be like, I could put them on my music?
Everybody, because you know what? You know the reason I don't do trap records, and this is gonna sound crazy. It offends my spirit, number 1, and then number 2 is too easy. I'm a complicated music nigga. Like, look, right? let me tell you something, right? Remember the guy? Come on, I don't be knowing their names, and I don't watch TV, so.
Which one?
I got that good cushion alcohol.
Yeah.
I got some down bitches I could call.
Yeah.
I think this kind of broke my spirit musically when I saw that blow up as a hit record. And no offense to him, but you know what that is? You heard that record. The first time you heard it, caught on. You know why?
Yeah.
Because it's
simple. It's like sing along.
Now it's sped up. But it's Hush Little Baby, Don't You Cry. I'm just gonna give you a lullaby.
People,
that's fucking Hush Little Baby.
Yo, Sally, you hear what he's saying right now? That was Diddy's key to success. Playing on the nostalgia and bringing all these old records back and triggering memories from when you was, not to say that the records weren't hot. There was some that were hot, but that was his key. He played on shit like that. And it was Future, Minnesota.
Right. When I with Future, sometimes when I hear these records, I started to notice a lot of them are fucking kindergarten songs. Kindergarten songs.
Surprised nobody came for no fucking royalties behind that.
Yeah, I mean, that might be public domain. Hush Little Baby might be.
Okay.
And then he took it an octave up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm assuming at this point you're in a place where you're very secure in owning your intellectual property.
Yeah, very much so. And that was another problem that we had, as a whole group. There were certain things when I first came into the music game, and this is why me and Pudgy the Fat Bastard is so tight. The first people that were managing me, my management mates were Adina Howard and Pudgy the Fat Bastard. And there was a guy named Gene Griffith. And Gene Griffith said, Minnesota, whatever you do in the music game, never sell your publishing. And at that time, as a producer, I'm a fucking broke kid from the Bronx. Used to sell coke.
Yeah.
Offer me $500,000, and all I hear is Gene saying, "Minnie, you're publishing." I didn't even know what the fuck my publishing was.
Now that you said that, Minnie,
Don't sell your publishing.
Talk about the oil, Minnie. Talk about the oil.
Well, oil. You see how the brothers in the Middle East, they went and they built Dubai and shit, the oil sheiks. This is our oil. Rap is our oil, and we gotta respect it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else that's gonna take you from out the bluff in Atlanta, or the projects in Soundview, or the hood in Brooklyn, or the fucking shooting gallery in Texas, and take you all around the world. This is our oil. We get to make rich people through this.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a certain behavior associated with you being an oil sheik. I don't give a fuck if you from Chicago. This shit could get you right. Yo, listen, right? When you see it, let's go back to 6ix9ine real quick. When you see a nigga rapping, he got 30 niggas behind him with the same color on. What he's really saying is, get me the fuck away from these niggas as quick as possible. He might not even know he's saying it, but that's what he's really saying. And how are you going to get away from all of this negative shit? With our oil. Our intellectual property is our fucking oil and diamonds. And niggas gotta, if you don't give a fuck about nothing else, you gotta give a fuck about your oil. Because this is why we got a voice on so many things. You know what I'm saying? Because this is our fucking oil.
People don't understand. What Minnesota's alluding to is the intellectual property. When you write a song, when you produce a beat, publishing is involved. When you own your publishing, when your song is licensed for a commercial, when it's used as a backdrop to a scene in a movie, when it's played at a stadium, when it's on the radio, whatever it may be, they gotta pay you. They have to pay you, right? So I'm gonna leave you with this because this is what's gonna help you understand. Michael Jackson owned 50. He had a lion's share hold of Sony's entire catalog. Now, to help you understand that, we're talking about not just his music. We're talking about the Beatles, any artist that was under Sony that got a check cut because their music was played in any way or licensed in any way, shape, or form. There was money coming in his pocket. So me, in my experience, used to pack checks for Michael Jackson that were $3 million. And my royalty house was this big compared to all the other royalty houses around the country. Right. So you trying to tell me I'm sending this cat every month a check for 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 2 million, 3, that he's broke? There's no way. There's no way.
Right.
So if you want to know why it's important to respect the oil, that's it right there. Because that's residual money.
Right.
That's what's going to keep you.
And this game is our oil because it's legit money. And you got niggas acting like they really the dope boys.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't moving no dope. You be somewhat of a fool to still be trying to move pieces if you get far up in the music game. Because you have to, there's so many things you can, like Rick Ross owns the chicken store now.
Mm-hmm.
He's moving chickens.
Yeah.
He's moving mad chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to take your money and put it into investments that deal with human interaction, and humans have to eat. And he made a good thing by making that fast food joint, the chicken place.
I don't know if you guys saw the article with the guy from the Chicago Cubs, minor league ball player. He got caught with like 20 bricks of meth in his baseball bag.
He's traveling, playing ball
with his baseball bag in the. I think he's in the minor leagues. Crazy. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, that's the thing with us. We only have few options. Oh, what's promoted to us is the few options to get up and out the hood. So either you shoot hoops, you throw a football, you rap, and or become.
Well, look, right? Look, right? this is just another thing, right? Do you know the baby boom that's going to come out of sitting the whole world in the house? You try to depopulate us, right? So you sat everybody in the house for 2 years. What you think blacks and Latins and Arabs was doing?
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah, for sure.
I said this the other day on the show, and I was like, I've seen a lot of pregnant women already starting to come out.
Yo, you know, and this is the other thing, right? They sat us in the house, and they sat us in the house, and niggas became stock investors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything they doing backfires. They just need to stop it.
That won't happen. We know that.
Well, there's gonna come a point in time.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna come a point in time,
For sure.
you know, where, you know, they burn Bill Gates at the stake.
A
It's
lot of
gonna
people.
happen.
Yeah.
You're pressing the issue,
Mhm.
and everybody that funds him, it doesn't make sense.
Well, to the normal person, it's, you know, it's going over their head. They not, you know, they all caught up in the hoopla of what's happening right now.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So
So many.
you know, yeah.
We're waiting on 3 more albums, right? For this year?
7 more. I mean, 7 more. I mean, I got 7 albums worth of shit. So
Okay. So when's the next album do you think more or less is gonna drop?
June 1st, every 3 months.
What's the next album called?
Sidewalk Executive.
Oof.
And then the one after that is Unindicted Co-Conspirator.
Are you having features on Sidewalk Executive? And if so,
So the features that I'll have will be the usual suspects, which is the youngest niggas that got down with Money Boss Players when they was 15 and 16. Was Eddie Chiba and Trey Bag. You know what I'm saying? Lord, if he wants to roll, he can roll. I speak to him here and there. If I get a feature, I get a feature. I'm with it. But for the most part, I'm just doing it. I don't, you know, because sometimes once you start adding motherfuckers who's not directly in the equation,
yeah,
you're looking for headaches.
Yeah, you already have the chemistry and everything set, and you work good together, and it just makes it that much easier.
Right.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You worked with Big. You worked with Pun. Who would you think was better?
Well, hold on. Say that again.
I said you worked with Big. You worked with Pun. Who'd you think was better?
They both was ill. I can't say because when you got that Je ne sais quoi, you got it as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you could check me in a Cherry Red 150. What? What?
Yeah.
And I was laughing when I heard that because this Sammy shit fell all out of him.
Yeah.
To the bar, the strip bar of Miami. Almost came home with the Grammys. What?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't get into who's better when. Yo, look.
But they're right there.
They're sort of neck and neck.
Yeah, they are neck and neck because, you know, Biggie. Do you remember the feeling the first time you heard Who Shot You?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
I think that record sent my friend Pistol Pete to jail.
Wait, what?
That was his fucking, when them niggas would be riding in that RX-7 or that Benz, they was rocking Biggie. Bum, bum.
Fat Joe's Pistol Pete? That's what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Black Pistol Pete from Townview.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I lost myself.
And every gangster has a theme song, and that was their theme song. Them niggas love that shit. Man.
Real good music makes you feel a certain way.
Wait.
It does something.
Now imagine being a hold on, how old is Pete? 95? 19 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you getting illegal money, you're known all throughout the city, and somebody comes out with a record called Who Shot You? I shot you.
That's my theme song, right? You
That's
saying?
my theme song. That's my fucking theme song.
Listen, everybody in the room.
I got a story about that. Ooh. Before you even get to everybody in the room, right?
All right. Go ahead, let it fly.
The gangsters from my neighborhood were out, and this is not like a apology to Puff Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I never really have formally got to meet Puff, and he probably thinks like I'm some type of gangster or animal. And the guys from my neighborhood, I kept hearing, yo, Pete and them is partying with Puffy. Pete trying to get in contact with me. I'm trying to catch Pete. So I'm like, yo, I want you to introduce me to Puffy. So I get with Pete. We jump in the Benz. We go down to Bad Boy. We're going up on one elevator. Puff is coming down on the other elevator. He got out of there. So I guess it probably seemed like, yo, these are bad guys. But niggas just really wanted to get around and get in and get close and work.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't really about extortion or pressing or being against.
Right.
That's all it was. I heard my niggas was partying with Puff in Manhattan Center. I'm like, all right, yo, we know him, we met him. Introduce.
Yeah. Trying to give him that work.
Right.
Yeah, everybody in the room, if you're just getting in, you done messed up because we about to get up out of here. But I hope Minnesota don't disappear because I want to talk to you after the show. All right, we're gonna close out the show, and I want to talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, you missed it. We missed a lot, but fuck it, you know.
No. Listen, this is the first release, right? Once Upon a Handshake. This is the first joint. Sidewalk Executive is gonna be number 2. Listen, the floor is always yours. You part of the family here. You come through with the new joint. We chop it up. We'll get more into the music, right? I wanted to introduce you to the audience because they probably missed out not paying attention. So I wanted to bring you on the platform so that they can sort of catch up. So when the second joint comes on, then we can definitely have a deeper conversation. You know what I mean?
Copy.
All right. So I'm going to tuck you in the green room. I just want to say thank you for giving, the platform your time. And again, the platform is always yours. If anything else comes up in the near future that you need to promote, whatever, just holler. We got you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, stand by.
Thank you, bro.
Listen, people, you got to understand there's a lot of meat on the bones when it comes to a person like Minnesota. And there's a lot to cover. And even though we started late, I'm trying to get everything in, and it may seem like it's here and there, but just understand there's a lot more to come. Pause. And we're gonna have him back when he has Sidewalk Executive released, and we'll definitely get into more of the music side of it and more stories so that you can become more familiarized. But listen, go cop Once Upon a Handshake. It is official. If you love New York hip hop, you have to cop it. Go to iTunes and go to Spotify, right? So, what do we got going on Wednesday for the people?
Wednesday, we got Pretty Lou coming on, right?
Yes, sir.
Pretty Lou. We got he's got one of the hottest Instagram shows right now. Through the heavy hitters, Turn the Tables. Great Brooklyn story. So Wednesday. Pretty Lou, and next Sunday we have Kevin Martier, Yankees minor league batting coach.
Oof. People, we keep telling you we're going to keep bringing good content to you. Great stories, real people telling real stories as always. And just keep watching out. Listen, I got a few more hats left over. Salute to my guy Ray. Salute to my guy Elvis out in the Midwest in AZ. My boy Ray out in California, and our brother in Texas. What's up?
Tomorrow night we're supposed to be on the Reach Out with
I haven't heard.
I know I'm gonna hit them up today, but we're supposed to be on the Reach Out with Ray and Steve on their podcast.
Yeah, so, we're supposed to be featured
6 p.m.
tomorrow.
or 7 p.m.
I think it's 7, but we'll post it tomorrow. We're supposed to be on a quick segment of the Reach Out with Ray and Steve. Is it
Ray and Steve? Yeah, the Reach Out with Ray and Steve.
On
Ray
YouTube.
Negron and Steve. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on YouTube. So we'll post it once we solidify that, and hope everybody could come over. We'll probably be on there for like 10-15 minutes. Come check us out. And yeah, Pretty Lou this Wednesday, Brooklyn Zone. Great story. And we're gonna keep doing it the way we do it. So I appreciate everybody staying this long, and we'll get back at you on Wednesday. We Gucci? Let's get out of here.